Mike Bohn here at UAE Warriors 55. Alexander Volkanovski taking in some regional action here. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's good. I've been to a couple of events before, so I've got a friend fighting a little bit later on, Tariq Suleiman, so I own an Aussie as well, Jacinta, so yeah, I'll be here watching them, supporting them.
So that fight we just saw, is Max Holloway ruining the sport? There was a guy who pointed to the ground and then a minute later he was butt scooting in that same spot.
Yeah, man, it's you've seen that a lot, aren't you? You know what I mean? And that was such a big moment. I mean, he's done it many times, but with Gaethje, UFC 300, now you're seeing it almost every fight show you see it. But yeah, I know I guess everything else wasn't really working for the guy, so you may as well, but that was pretty hard to watch that one. He was getting hit a little too much, I thought.
And he was a Gracie too, right? The Gracies are pointing to the center of the cage now. How far the sport has come.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And I know this is supposed to be Fight Island, but today, Alexander, it felt a little more like Love Island at the host hotel with all the boys, you and Max, you and Ilia, just like hanging out with everyone. Was that kind of the attitude you came in if you saw these guys? It was all just going to be respect all week?
I mean, that's just how I've always been. You know, when you're actually fighting, you know, I'm usually all good. I'm shaking hands with everybody, but I can't expect everyone else to be like that when you're fighting them. So I usually give them their space, but I'm not fighting anyone right now. So, you know, give them a nod, and they're usually, you know, if they want to shake hands, and I get along with everybody, so, you know.
I know you and Max are always respectful. You fought each other 3 times. I wasn't so sure what the interaction with you and Ilia would be like. Is that your first time seeing him since the fight?
Yeah, it would be the first time, but no, we're usually all right as well. Like, obviously things are going to be said, but he's actually a pretty you know, respectful guy.
Any takeaways from seeing those guys in person? Did anyone look bigger, smaller, more drawn out? Anything from your assessments?
They both look healthy, to be honest. I think they both look healthy and yeah, looking healthy and strong. Max, obviously, coming from the lightweight, that's going to be questions that might be asked. Is he going to do the weight? But he looked great today. I thought I seen him doing interviews maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh man, is he looking like he's a little drawn? But I always think that, and he's, you know, he turns up and he's fine. So I'm like, don't let that be. But then I watched stuff this week and just seen him today. I thought he looked great, you know, for someone who's that was just fighting at a heavier division, and you know, it's probably a decent cut for him, but he's looking healthy.
What about Diego Lopez? He's here as well. Any interactions with him? I know he doesn't speak English. But
He's a little bit. He's a little bit. Yeah, but again, everyone's pretty respectful, man. Like, I know you're going to get a lot of people trash talking and all that, and obviously we're fighters, so a lot of people don't realise, but they're usually all good human beings. So, you know, especially if they know I'm just a chill dude, so they're going to be all right. Maybe if someone else is, having a go at them, there might be, a bit of bad blood. You might see him get a bit angry, but I'm chill with everybody. So, and they know that. So, no, he was good. He was real good. Or something's happened already. Oh, he's out.
Very quick knockout out here. You see the replays. I mean, having all 4 of you guys here, it's really exciting. Does this just get up your competitive juices, knowing this is all coming together, the return is looming? Yeah,
for sure. So obviously I want to get in there. I wanted to fight around now. Yeah. But yeah, they were saying, look, have a little bit of rest and then just fight the winner and things like that. And I'm like, all right, no worries, because I wanted to fight. I thought that they were going to fight a little bit earlier in the year, and then I'll fight the winner around now. But they're like, nah, look, it's probably looking a bit later, and then it's going to just have to be after that. And I'm like, no worries, all good. So that's sort of where we're at with it now. Just see what happens. I'll know a lot more Saturday. Who it is, what are they doing? If Max wins, is he fighting featherweight? Is he going to lightweight? You know what I mean? Is he doing the BMF? He's probably doing 100% doing BMF next. Does that mean interim? Does that mean me and Diego are dancing? I don't know. So I'll know a lot more on the weekend, but I want to fight as long as for gold. Perfect world would be in Sydney. You know what I mean? That'd be perfect world. But, obviously...
I feel like the most concrete element of this, like the Sydney thing, that's when you feel like, and whoever the opponent may be?
Yeah, as long as for gold as well. If I waited this long, otherwise if it wasn't going to be for gold, I would have already fought. But promised me gold, so I'll wait to fight for that.
Do you see they moved Max up 3 spots at lightweight to number 5, even though he hasn't fought? I don't know if that was a response to Dana's kind of rant about the media and their rankings.
Oh, well, I mean, I understand it. He took out the number 1 guy. I think Gaethje was 1, wasn't he? He was number.
Yeah, he was 1 or 2.
1 or 2. So that's sort of how you see the rankings a lot of times. You take them out, you sort of take their spot. That's just how it's always been. And look at the work Max has done. So I'm fine with that.
Perfect world, it seems like you'd probably want Ilia, though. You want that back. You want that revenge.
Perfect world is Ilia in Sydney. But my head's telling me if Ilia wins, he's not fighting probably straight away, and he's not fighting in Sydney, definitely. Max would fight in Sydney, but he'll probably do BMF and probably fight featherweight, a bit later. So while that's happening, maybe I dance for an interim or something. So again, it's just, the only reason why I bring that up is just because I want to fight soon. I mean, I don't want to fight July next year, and then I'm like, far out, you know what I mean? I'm going to be very disappointed if that's the case. I've waited long enough. I've rested, did what I had to do, but now ready to get back in there. So perfect world would be Ilia in February, but in Sydney, but I just don't know if that's likely. Money talks, you never know. So maybe UFC could talk him into it, but.
The time is winding down. We'll see what happens, man. Appreciate the time, and Saturday is going to give us all the answers.
Yes, it will do. Yes, for sure.
Thank you, Bohn.
Thank you.
Good to see you, man. Thank you.